Hi guys, I'm back and I'm going to read Runaway Ralph, Chapter 8, Part 2. Sorry I got cut off so short last time, but Veda needed me. So the last time we read, what happened? I can't remember. Ralph talked to Garf. So Garf knows that he's alive because they thought that Catsko had eaten him, but Ralph is alive and doing fine, and he said, I'll make a deal with you. I'll get your watch back or let you know where the watch is if I can have my motorcycle. Okay? I think we got that far. We'll see. Okay. Chapter 8, Part 2. Later that morning, after his riding lesson, Garf returned with a piece of screen and some wire to repair the hole. His work was frequently interrupted as campers left the craft shop and drifted off to other activities. When Aunt Jill left, Ralph came down from his hiding place in a series of leaps. Through the screen door, he watched Garf sitting on the steps, weaving the wire patch to the screen with a piece of thin wire, before he said, "Say, Garf, what about my motorcycle?" Startled, Garf looked up from his work. "You're alive!" His obvious pleasure was most gratifying to Ralph. "I thought Catsko got you. How come you believed Catsko got me when you wouldn't believe Catso stole the watch?" demanded Ralph. "I can run and jump, and a watch can't." "It just isn't logical for a cat to steal a watch," Garf insisted. "If I show you where the watch is, will you believe me?" asked Ralph. With a look of interest, Garf sat back on his heels. "However," he said, "I don't want to have anything to do with that watch. I don't want to be seen near it, or people will start saying I took it again. Most everyone's forgotten about it, and I want to keep it that way." "You don't have to go near it," said Ralph. "Just watch me." Flattening himself, he squeezed under the screen door, jumped down the steps, and ran out into the bamboo leaves. Suddenly, all the bamboo leaves looked alike. Which leaf was hiding the watch? Ralph did not know. He looked under one leaf, and then the next. He heard Garf mutter, "Huh!" and returned to his work. Over by one of the lodges, Lana shouted, "Bad cat! Bad cat!" Ralph pushed some leaves aside and crawled under others. Where was the watch at anyways? There was no telling how many leaves had fallen since Catsko had dropped the watch. Ralph crawled deeper and deeper into the leaves and was finally rewarded by the touch of metal against his paw. Next, Ralph grasped the buckle on the leather strap and tugged. The watch was heavier than he had expected, but it slid across the smooth inside surface of the leaf. Ralph waded up through the leaves, pulling with all of his strength, and at last emerged, dragging the watch behind him. "See?" he said. "I told you I knew where it was." "Well, what do you know?" Garf sat down on the step to the craft shop. "You really did. How did the watch get there?" "I told you," said Ralph impatiently. Catsko picked it up in his mouth, carried it out here, batted it around for a while, and finally dropped it where it slid under a leaf. "I believe you're telling the truth," said Garf with wonder in his voice. "Of course I'm telling the truth." Ralph was indignant. "But what does it do for me?" asked Garf. "You know I can't return it, and if I say Catsko stole it, people would laugh." This moment was the one Ralph had been waiting for. First, he pulled some bamboo leaves over the watch to hide it before he faced Garf. "All right, let's talk business," he said. "I return the watch and clear your name. You give me back my motorcycle." From the trampoline, Ralph heard Lana say as she bounced, "Bad dog, Sam. You're supposed to be a watchdog." She stopped bouncing and began to scold Sam. "You're a watchdog. Why didn't you watch what Catsko was doing? Why did you let Catsko get the poor little mouse?" Garf thought a while before he said, "Why do you want the motorcycle? The ground is pretty uneven around here." "Why do you want it?" "Why do you want it?" countered Ralph. "You're too big to ride it. It's a mouse-size motorcycle, not a boy-size motorcycle. I want it because I like to think back I like to think about motorcycles, said Garth. I push it back and forth and think about riding a motorcycle when I grow up. I want it to ride, said Ralph. Now, back to the Mountain View Inn. I want to go home. The Mountain View Inn? Garth was incredulous. That's over a mile away. You'd never make it. Ralph recalled the long and thrilling downhill ride. He remembered how he had thought at the time that he would never be able to go back up the mountain road. Maybe you're right, he admitted. Of course you wouldn't, said Garth. He pulled the motorcycle out of his pocket and ran a finger over the front tire. For one thing, your tires would never stand the trip. They're wearing smooth. There is still a lot of mileage left in them if you ride on floors, but they won't hold up on a highway. Oh, Ralph had not considered the possibility of his tires wearing out. And another thing, said Garth, you'd probably get laryngitis from making a motorcycle noise before you were halfway there. Ralph was utterly dejected. I suppose you're right. Bad Sam, scolded Londa from the trampoline. Ralph ducked under a leaf while some campers walked past. Can you turn that down, please? Sorry. Ralph ducked under a leaf while some campers walked past. What am I going to do? He asked pitifully as he emerged. I can't stay here with the cats. I'm a hotel mouse. I'm not used to living on weeds, seeds, out in the cold. When winter comes, I'll probably die. If the cats don't get me first, I've got to try to make it back to the hotel. I just have to. You should have thought about things like that before you ran away, chided Garth. I should. But I didn't, said Ralph coldly. You don't have to sound like a grown-up. Sorry, apologized Garth. The dinner bell rang and campers began to run towards the dining hall. Catsko, avoiding Lana, with a haunted look on his furry face, darted from one hiding place to the next, on his way to the kitchen door. Poor old Sam, so conscientious and anxious to please, padded dejectedly across the grass with his tail drooping. He had failed in his duty. Ralph did not have much time. Do we have an agreement or don't we? He demanded of the boy. I have a better idea, said Garth. I'll take you back to the hotel myself when my family comes to get me. They'll be spending the night there before they come to pick me up the day after tomorrow. The camp doesn't serve us lunch on the day we leave, so I know we'll stop at the inn for lunch before we start for home. It's the only place around here. I could easily take you along in my pocket. This offer was more than Ralph had hoped for. But the motorcycle, he persisted. If I return the watch, will you give it back? Ralph felt he would rather perish at Happy Acres Camp than return to the hotel without his beloved motorcycle. How will you return it? Garth was curious. You couldn't get it up on the shelf in the craft shop or up on a desk in the office. I didn't say where I would return it, answered Ralph. I said I would return it. I'll leave it somewhere where Kieran is sure to find it. Garth thought this plan over, but people might think I left it there. I got it. Garth thought his plan over, but people might think I left it there. Ralph had an answer. Not if I leave it someplace where boys can't go. You mean the girls' bathroom? Asked Garth, visibly impressed by Ralph's idea. Maybe, said Ralph carelessly, or Kieran's lodge, or the girls' dressing room by the swimming pool. You better make up your mind, or you'll be late for lunch. It's a deal, said Garth suddenly. You return the watch by tomorrow, and I'll give you back your motorcycle. The next day, I'll take you to the inn. But remember, no watch, no motorcycle. It's a deal, agreed Ralph, and you might throw in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for my dinner. Would you care to shake on it? Asked Garth. Ralph extended his paw, which Garth took between his thumb and forefinger. Like that. They shook. I'll meet you by the bamboo tomorrow morning after breakfast, said Garth, and he ran off towards the dining hall. If you're not there, I'll come back later. I hope I'll be there, thought Ralph, who knew that a night of peril lay ahead of him. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich would help to give him strength and courage. Over in the dining hall, the campers began to sing. You can't get to heaven on roller skates, 'cause you'll roll right past those pearly gates. You can't get to heaven with a nickel in your jeans, 'cause the Lord don't allow no slot machines. Okay, I am done with chapter 8. And the last chapter, which I'm going to read tomorrow, which is a long chapter, I got to smash it all in, is chapter 9, and it is called A Dangerous Plan. Okay, go ahead and let me know what your prediction is, and have a great night. Bye-bye.